The next thing we're going to do is see what emotions or attitude is come up about this. Hold that position there. And just make the statement, I can maintain this position for 24/7.
I can maintain this position 24/7.
No. I can keep my neck in extension, my arm moving 3 hours with no rest.
I can keep my head extended for 3 hours without any rest.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Okay, so there's the body and the mind cooperating and has told us that you working for about 3 hours at a time and then take a break is a good idea. That if you're doing more than that, then you're asking for some real problem there. Okay? All right. So let's go back to here. We're going to see if there's an attitude here. Holding there. If I have to work 6 hours non-stop, 5 days a week painting, just make that statement.
If I have to work 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, non-stop painting,
I am sore.
I am sore.
Yes. And this makes me feel, let this down, just keep your eyes shut here. What feeling do you have about that? If you had to be in that situation, in order to pay all your bills, you had to spend.
I wouldn't feel happy about it, but I would do it to know that it would benefit in the long run, but I know I would be very sore at the end.
Yeah, and soreness, what feeling is attached to the soreness?
Frustration.
Frustration, anger, and do it anyway. Okay. All right, and relax there. So there's an illustration of the mindset. This is as good as it gets. I've got to do this to pay my bills, so I'm going to do it. And at the end of that, even when the bills are paid, we may be so exhausted that we will get sick, for instance. You know, in which case everything caves. But you have time when you're sick to recuperate too. As bad as that is, you'll actually reset the body and the mind cooperating so that now you're not beyond your limits, because your limits, the repetitive stress that is unresolved, has problems attached, and eventually you'll just cave. That's just the way things are. And sickness is one good way of doing that. The body will reset there. Okay, so we've got body and we've got mind here. What we're going to ask, I have a few questions here. You were recently sick, actually. This is interesting. Okay,
yes.
And how did that feel when you were sick? Like, what came up for you?
It was extremely frustrating because I had just finished a huge contract that I'd been working outdoors for approximately 4 weeks solid on a hotel to hurry up and get it done before the rain set in for the season. And by the end of it, I was really tired, but I'd gotten my paychecks and I'd paid off a bunch of bills. And then I couldn't go back to work because I got sick. So for 2 weeks I've been staying at home trying to figure out how I'm going to come up with next month's rent.
Okay, so that's the downside of sick. You know, like all the bills still have to get paid in that. What happened to your mind, your emotion, while you were sick?
I went through periods of feeling upset about it at first, and then feeling sorry for myself, and then realizing that you just have to get better, so you're going to have to go through the days off and learn from that, and know that if you go out early, like I tried to do in the past, and just go back to work, I'm just going to get sicker. So I took the time this time to stay home and get well, but at the same time I was feeling very antsy and kind of, you know, unsure about where my next paycheck was coming from.
So one thing I heard there, and that what I want us to pay attention to, is I took the time to get well. If we could take the time to be well, we wouldn't be in these situations. Our normal life, work stress, money stress, is such that it wears us down. And so long as you're young, you're healthy, able to do that, you can kind of ignore and bypass a lot of that. But at some point you can't. And that's what brings on the sick, the pain in that. Another thing that we had a little talk about this before. When you were sick, what did you do?
I basically stayed home and watched movies, and
you enjoyed the movies,
Yeah.
and what else? When the movies were off.
when the movies were over, I got a little disappointed with my own life, feeling like it was boring because all the movies were so exciting, and I was stuck in a house being sick. So my life kind of got depressing after that.
Okay.
So I revert back to, oh, I'll just put another movie on. But you can't sit around and watch movies all your life. So
Okay, so you got deeply in tune with what it felt to be alone and not feeling good, and that
something else to make me feel better.
wasn't really that pleasant, and it was a boring place to be.